Before we get into the different types of lights, we need to understand color temperature. Understanding color temperature allows you to set your white balance correctly. The color temperature chart goes from infrared to ultraviolet, deep reds to blues. There are two common light colors we work with. First is tungsten. At around 3200 degrees Kelvin, tungsten gives a warm orangey glow similar to sunset and sunrise. We use these to also match warmer interior practical lights. Color rendition is also very high with tungsten. Next is daylight. At around 5600 degrees Kelvin, daylight is a blue in color and closely resembles a strong midday sun. We use this to show bright lights through windows to represent daylight. To white balance, we must correct what the camera sees and turn these temperatures to match the color white. So with daylight, once we set it to 5600 degrees Kelvin, it turns white. And with tungsten, if we set our cameras to 3200 degrees Kelvin, it corrects the light to white as well. Now if we're set to tungsten and shine a daylight in, we suddenly get that blue hue. And vice versa, if we set our cameras to daylight and shine a tungsten, we get that warm orangey light. We can use this to create effects in our filming. Light is so important, and we're going to be going through light and lighting throughout the series. If you're starting out, you should have some basic additional lights for yourself. A couple of LED panels. Here's a small LED panel and a nice backlight. A really basic starting kit. The rest of the stuff you can rent in. You can spend an absolute fortune on buying loads and loads of lights, like me, but really just getting a basic core kit is what you need to start with. So this is your essentials. You'll see there's no cool toys like sliders and jibs and dollies and drones and cranes and helicopters. This is the stuff you really need to start with, the stuff to focus on. Actually, there's one thing I've forgotten about, and it's this: gaffer tape. Essential. Now, last on our basic list is some storage to hold all that footage. I personally have so many hard drives that they are taking over my house. And you should always have at least 2 copies of the footage before you edit, ideally 3, like 2 sort of backups and 1 working copy. Next, of course, you will need a computer. I'm not getting into the whole PC versus Mac debate. I use Macs. I also have PCs. It doesn't matter. Find something that works for you. Whether you get a desktop or laptop, that's up to you. It depends on your needs. I do have both. I have a nice proper setup with proper monitors and proper speakers for my office setup, but I do edit a lot out and about on the road, and so I do need a nice, powerful laptop. And computers are becoming more and more powerful, and you can edit HD footage directly onto just basic laptops. If dealing with higher end footage like 4K, then a more powerful system would be obviously better. Finally, there's the software. In the past, you needed different types of software for different jobs, from ingesting to editing to audio and music to color grading. Nowadays, all the main editing software incorporates all these features into one package, but you can buy additional plugins to make things better. I will be covering storage, archiving, and the full post-production phase in the final episode of the series. So there you have it, all the initial basic knowledge you need to get started. I know it was a lot of information to take in, but this will all become second nature to you. Join me in our next episodes in the series, where we move away from all this technical mumbo jumbo, this gobbledygook of behind the lens, and get into what really matters: the filming.